And as we await the FDA's ruling on the vaccine here, the U.S. is preparing for its immediate rollout.
Planning for the Pfizer vaccine, but we're in deep coordination for the micro plans for the Moderna vaccine. So last night, final lock of allocations were provided to the jurisdictions. Today, tomorrow, and Friday, they will lock in locations and quantities, and hence will be prepared for follow-on eventual approval of the EUA for Moderna.
Immunisation cards are coming. The Welsh Government says anyone who's vaccinated will get one, and it's likely that in lots of countries you'll need proof of vaccine to do certain things.
Hospitals and universities where you put the risk, you risk the health of other people. They will be able to force people to get vaccines if the state mandates it. Another scenario is if the employer has it in his contract and you sign the contract and you agree.
It reminds you of something.
You see your papers? I don't think I have them on me. In that case, we'll have to ask you to come along.
Wait, it's possible that, yes. Here they are.
These papers expired 3 weeks ago. You'll have to come along.
We can verify. States do have the authority to mandate a vaccination and fine and jail you if you refuse it.
Ms. Jacob?
Yes.
I don't want you to do this if you feel uncomfortable.
Only the desperate and most needy are the people that will be willing to get in line straight away, would be my suspicion.
At 6:31 this morning, a grandmother in a donated Christmas sweater made history. 90-year-old Margaret Keenan became patient A, the first person in the world to receive a clinically tested and proven COVID vaccine.
It was fine. It was fine. I wasn't nervous at all.
The second recipient was 81-year-old William Shakespeare, no relation to the Bard.
Sure, lawyers expect there, first of all, to be a push to insulate companies from liability.
Watch this video and say Willie D called it. There's going to be a major push for people to take that vaccine. They're going to have all kinds of cool commercials. There are going to be people throwing vaccine parties. They're going to show the celebrities getting the vaccine shot, the pretty people in society getting the vaccine shot, the cool people in society, the influential people in society getting the vaccine shot. And they're going to make it really, really cool because they know they can't force people to make the...
We can verify. States do have the authority to mandate a vaccination and fine and jail you if you refuse it.
Well, if the vaccine is mandated by the state or if it's in the contract and the employee doesn't fall under any exemption, then the employer can simply fire the employee because we're an at-will state. So the employer has every right to let go. And there will be no consequences.
It will be in the form of an app on a passenger's phone. So the data, for example, a coronavirus test result that is negative could be stored on there, and also proof of a vaccine.
All part of the United Nations agenda. This is why they're implementing this thing, because according to Article 16.9, everyone in the world needs to have an identification card by 2030, as you can see there. Well, this national ID no longer is it controlled by the states as we have with our driver's license, but now you become a national federalized agent, federalized person with all your personal data given to the feds.
Employee does get the vaccine. Could companies be held liable if the vaccine later turns out to be ineffective and that employee gets sick?
Cause no serious safety concerns. I think I heard yesterday that the pharmaceutical companies demanded indemnity from future lawsuits if there were any consequences.
Lawrence Gostin. My name is Peter Myers.
Here are our sources. Law experts from the George Washington University Law School and Georgetown University's Law Center both pointed us towards that landmark 1905 decision, Jacobson v. Massachusetts.
I think that case is still good law, even though it's like over 100 years old.
Here's the background of the case. In 1902, Cambridge, Massachusetts passed a regulation which required residents to get a vaccine for smallpox, threatening a fine for those who didn't. A man named Henning Jacobson refused to get the vaccine, taking the case all the way to the Supreme Court. In the end, the court ruled that these mandatory vaccinations and punishments are allowed under law. Our expert, Gostin, says that this decision has since been validated numerous times.
States are empowered by the Constitution to mandate vaccinations.
They all had to have this mark, or else they could not buy or sell anything.
October 1st, 2020, the Transportation Security Administration is going to start requiring travelers to have a new type of driver's license, a real ID compliant driver's license.
They will be able to force people to get vaccines if the state mandates it.
To Article 16.9, everyone in the world needs to have an identification card by 2030.
Isn't that what Nazi Germany did that everybody in America was against? Checkpoints, proof. Papers, please.
Fair warning, big changes are underway for those who fly domestically or who need to enter a federal building or get on a military base.
Back in 2005, Congress passed the Real ID Act, which, among other things, created a nationwide security standard.
People with a history of significant allergic reactions shouldn't get the vaccine.
Ms. Jacob?
Yes.
I don't want you to do this if you feel uncomfortable.
States do have the authority to mandate a vaccination and fine and jail you if you refuse it. Again, the court ruled that these mandatory vaccinations and punishments are allowed under law.
All people were forced to put a mark on their right hand or forehead. Whether they were powerful or weak, rich or poor, free people or slaves, they all had to have this mark, or else they could not buy or sell anything. This mark stood for the name of the beast and for the number of its name.
Isn't that what Nazi Germany did that everybody in America was against? Checkpoints, proof. Papers, please. May I see your papers?
It seems that checkpoints just might be step 2 in this entire process. But what do you need in order to have that checkpoint? Well, you need a more federalized police force. But that's all part of the United Nations agenda. This is why they're implementing this thing.
Watch this video and say Willie D called it.